is I need people out there to be able to start doing what I do down here in Texas, but I can't get nobody to help us out of Texas because once you give a veteran a home, I've helped
Hey,
103.
for everybody watching, we're live now. We're live. We're live. Hey, Bobby, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi,
Bobby Withrow with the Texas Fallen Project.
I'm Bobby
We got
Christinger with Operation
everybody.
Texas Strong.
Yeah, we got Bobby from Operation Texas Strong. We got Pastor Bruce with us today from the Gloucester CC, who's a book
Gloucester
writer.
County Community Church.
Huh?
Gloucester County Community Church works there, Rob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, gents, sorry. I'm trying to put together my suit. I know we're on this podcast. Give me about a few. I'll jump back on in about 10 minutes, Rob. All right.
What's that?
I'm going to jump back on in about 10 minutes. Let me get my suit together. I got to be at a retirement ceremony, but I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Let me know when Hazel gets on.
Okay. All right, brother. Sounds good. Okay, and then who else we got on here this morning? Hey everybody, why don't you guys introduce you guys self?
Duval from Philly veteran.
Yeah, we got Bobby Withrow from Texas. Okay. Okay.
We lost everybody's name, Rob. Can that go back on the blocks?
Yeah. Everybody introduce themselves.
I think they're about to probe Rob. I'm bad for him. I don't know what's going on there. But I don't know what's going on, but it's looking bad. I'm Walter. I'm with the Conshohocken VFW, and I do a couple other things for Travis Manion. Throw my hat in the ring for a couple different things, but all in the Philadelphia area.
I'm Eric Carbaugh. I'm out of the DFW Dallas Fort Worth area. I'm also the author of Warrior Up, Beyond Odyssey, and pretty much do creative strategy as a living.
John Miller. I'm part of Gloucester County Community Church, oversee the military ministry. I'm also with the VBA Philadelphia office. I am the public affairs officer there, do a lot of outreach with the vets, and a 15-year Navy vet.
Bruce Sofia, pastor of the Gloucester County Community Church, written 3 books, the first of which was Hope Beyond Suicide. The second was When Divorce is Right. And the third was Love, Lust, and Lies. And I'm here because I guess there's some sort of a spiritual perspective on this subject we call suicide.
I'm Bobby Christinger with Operation Texas Strong. I live outside Fort Worth, Texas. I'm working on a book called The Overcomer because of everything I've been through in my life. But we love our veterans, and we wanted to give back to our veterans to let them know they're loved and wanted. We work with about 300 to 400 veterans per week, and we stay communicating with each other.
My name is Duval. Everybody knows me by Philly veteran. I live in New Jersey, around the Cherry Hill, New Jersey area.
I'm Bobby Withrow, the Texas Fallen Project. I live outside of Austin, Texas.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm host Rob Layton. I'm born and raised New Jersey, and then I'm a U.S. Army veteran.
Did the guy with the green Philadelphia shirt introduce himself?
Yep.
Yes, I did.
I missed it. My apology.
The worst.
I missed your intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Walt Hartnett. I'm with the Hutchinson VFW and a couple other organizations in the Philadelphia area that support veterans. Between Greater Philadelphia Vet Network, Travis Manion, RWB. All the letters start.
Nice win last night. Not to change the subject, but it was a nice win last night for the Phillies. Finally.
Hey, who's in Austin, Texas?
That would be me.
Yeah.
Name?
Bobby.
Oh. Nice to meet you.
We'll get together later, Bobby.
I like your outfit. You're wearing a
I got a couple meetings today. We're putting out 4,000 flags over 9/11, so I got some meetings with Rotary Club and stuff today.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the shirt and hat or bandana.
There you go.
Hey, Rob, you want to start with a prayer today?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can both pray if you want. If you don't mind praying, I'll pray too.
Well, then, no, I'm fine. I don't need to pray. It's your broadcast. You pray. Let's start with a prayer.
Okay, dear Father, we come to you and we just ask you for forgiveness. We ask you to be with us, our friends and our family, our fellow veterans who committed suicide, the ones who have family members who committed suicide, the ones who are contemplating suicide. Please pray for them and be there for them and keep them strong, keep their hearts uplifted, and bring some joy into their lives, and let them reach out. If anybody's watching, let them reach out and get help, and let them know that there are some people who care and love them, and we are available 24/7 for any questions about suicide or if they need somebody to talk to. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. That's better.
Yeah. So, let me see. Hold on.
Is there a topic we're bringing up today, or where we? I'm just kind of. I don't know if I'm losing connectivity or what here.
Oh,
wait. Do we? How I want to start, Rob? You want me to throw out a few questions regarding suicide in general, and then focus it on veterans?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that, Pastor.
All right. So here's a question. Every blank minute, someone in the United States dies by a citizen. Is it 8.7, 11.6, 14.2, or 20.9 minutes? I'll round it off. Every 9 minutes, every 12 minutes, every 14 minutes, every 21 minutes. Somebody dies of suicide.
21
Who wants
minutes?
to take a shot at it?
21 minutes?
Every
12 minutes.
14 minutes, somebody dies of suicide.
Wow.
It's higher than that now. These are old stats. How many people die a year? Or I should say, how many people, make a suicide attempt every year? Do you know? Who wants to take a guess? 200,000, 500,000, 250,000, or 1 million?
Say 1 million.
Yeah, who said that? You're right on, 1 million. So women attempt suicide how many times more than men? 2, 3, 5, or the same?
3.
Absolutely. Somebody knows their stats. 3 times more. True or false? Men are nearly 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. True or false?
True.
I think it's true because when they do it, they do it by more efficient means.
Yes.
Hazel, what's up?
Hey,
We were talking about that earlier. it's directly relational to the fact that women are relational in their nature, and men are accomplishment driven. You know, it's what we accomplish gives us our self-worth. And I think, I don't know who it was that said that earlier when we were talking, but what is typical is you're in the military, you're accomplishing something, you have a purpose, you step out, you no longer have a purpose. And if you're wounded, and then you really feel less like you have a purpose. So what's left? You lost your hope. Your only hope is in taking your life. So you take your life. So men are 4 times more likely to die of suicide than women, although women attempt 3 times more. Just a few little stats. I have a few others. Let's see. 1 in every 65 Americans have been affected by suicide. The military averages 1 suicide a day, but John, I think you said that's up to 1.5.
Yes, it's 1.5 now, as of last year.
Now, does anybody here, Rob, do you have any understanding, or do men actually seek help if they're considering suicide, or is that considered weak and then therefore they don't seek help?
A lot of times I think it's considered weak, and they won't ask for help a lot of times, because I know most guys that I've ever heard of who have committed suicide or known who have done it, it's been out of the blue. Nobody really saw it coming. And it's because most men, we bottle things up. And especially, you know, in the military, everybody knows to have your battle buddy. You know, you always have that person. But when we get out, we become veterans, we become lone wolves. And we decide that we're going to go it alone instead of reaching out to those around us.
Now, is anybody on the panel today, has anyone had a friend in the military or in family who's committed suicide?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I remember we were doing this study. It was in a small group. We call them Circle of Friends. And we were using my book as the text. And we had been together for 10 years. And we went around, and the first question is, has anybody, do you know someone, or have you been affected by suicide in some way? And one of the persons in the group said, yeah, my father committed suicide. And we were together for 10 years and nobody knew it.
Wow.
He never said a word until we had that question.
I think you're both correct. Men bottle it up. We hold it inside, especially the veterans. They come out, they feel proud. They don't want to ask for help.
Yeah.
A real staggering number. Here's one for everybody online. The Veterans Administration put out July 1st of this year that since 9/11, since the war era, 30,100 veterans, active and veterans, have committed suicide, whereas only 7,000 have died during combat. Wow. In other words, four times more veterans have committed suicide than actually died during combat. Because we come back, we bottle it up, and that goes for civilians as well, non-military. We learn to bottle things up, especially the men, like Pastor Bruce said. We bottle it up, we hold it in until we just can't take it anymore, then we look for an out.
So I have a question for those of you in the military. Do you think part of that reason is administrations, White House administrations, maybe are more favorable or less favorable? So when you come out, you don't feel like you have the respect. Could that contribute to something like that?
I don't think so, just because if you look at the suicide numbers after Vietnam, where if you want to talk about a disrespected veteran coming back from war, they weren't this high. They weren't 20. And there were more of them. There were more veterans who came back from Vietnam than we had in Afghanistan and Iraq. But what I think that they did have that we still have today, but we don't use it. Organizations like the VFW and the American Legion. I tell guys all the time, I said, don't join for yourself, because we don't do that. Like you said, for veterans, we don't. Listen, I'm not going to tell you I need help, but if one of you guys right now told me, hey, I'm on the side of the road and I need my tire changed, or I need help doing this, or I need everybody on this call, if they're willing and able to do it, they could probably go and help them out.
Right.
Okay.
But do you
serve. We want to take care of others. So
Right.
give that purpose. We don't lose being in the military. You got an EPS date. You don't wear your uniform every day. You're still in the military. You're still have that mentality, and that's what we got to stop thinking that our service didn't end.
Right. Well, one question here. However, because I was in college when we were in war in Vietnam, there was a societal concept or a thinking that this was a wasted war. You had people that were objecting to the war, burning flags. So if I'm a Vietnam veteran and I come home and I feel like, wow, everybody thinks I wasted my time and my energy and put my life on the line, do you think that would contribute to one's, like, what am I worth?
Yeah. I mean, you look at organizations like the VFW, one of the big things, when those Vietnam veterans came back, they weren't welcomed in the VFW. The World War II veterans and the World War I veterans just told them, no, you're not welcome here, buddy. A war. That wasn't a real war, because even veterans looked down on their service. It wasn't just the civilians, to the point where when I came back from Afghanistan, we would go to these events and they would say, hey, go up on stage if you're a wounded warrior, or go get the applause. And I wouldn't go stand up there because but I wouldn't go step on stage. And I had old crust.
John,
they're not clapping for you. They're clapping for the uniform.
John, are there statistics relational to suicides on World War I, if there's anybody alive, World War II, Vietnam, Korea?
There is.
Do we have stats on them?
I just looked up from the Vietnam War up until 9/11. So prior to 9/11, there was only 9,000 Vietnam veterans that committed suicide on record. That was from the end of the Vietnam War, which was in the early 70s, through 9/11. From 9/11 to now, there was 30,000 veteran suicides. So 3 times that. Yeah. So the Vietnam vets, I think they came back. I didn't serve during Vietnam, but I do talk to quite a few of them in the outreach. And I think they came back more defensive, trying to say we did what we were told to do, and the whole country. So they had a little bit of an out because they were arguing a lot more. Do you know what I mean? It helped them voice what they were thinking, so it didn't bubble up. Whereas the guys coming back from Afghanistan and stuff, unless they join a legion or something to that effect, they come home, they go into their house and they go back to work. Yeah. They don't have. There's nothing for them to give an out, especially now. Yeah, sir.
A lot of veterans didn't even identify that they were veterans. Because I remember this was still during the fast. These young men and women, they didn't want to even acknowledge that they. So sometimes some people push back on that 9,000 number and say it's a fake number because it didn't capture the data correctly, because these men and women didn't identify as veterans.
It was a lost war.
Yeah.
It was they're just now getting benefits from it. They're just now the new PACT Act that came out with the VA. They're just now getting recognized.
Yep.
And because they're getting recognized, it's helping the new vets.
Yeah. I think it's also a societal change as well. So, when we look at up until, even Vietnam, that's when society really started changing. So at that point, we had more of a focus on God in our society and everything else. After Vietnam, that focus completely went away. And I believe what happened is that created a void of a moral compass. Once you get rid of a moral compass, then you start looking more inward. I'm the problem. It's me. I have to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I'm not going to reach out. Where before we had a moral compass where we look to God as our center point. And that is really missing in today's society. And I think that's a direct correlation of why there's so many more suicides now, not just in veterans, but across the board, but especially in veterans because of a lack of a moral compass. That is what kind of keeps us, it's that North Star for us, is that true north that veterans really need. And I think it boils at the end of it, it boils down to purpose. We still got to find a purpose. We all have a God-given purpose in our lives. All of us, I don't care whether you're military or civilian, all of us have been born with the innate desire to be a warrior, because that's what God has called us to be. And we have to find out what that purpose is. We have to figure out where we fit into that realm. And once we do that, that's where I think it alleviates a lot of that problems. But where do veterans find that? A lot of them, they don't. They turn to substance abuse and everything else to fill that void.
Yeah, as much as you say church, I believe it's church and community.
Absolutely.
Because people don't know who their neighbors are.
Exactly. Yeah.
The neighbor living right next door to them, and that's more of a societal thing. It's not just a veteran.
Absolutely. Yep.
We all got,
That was an excellent point.
Yeah.
You hit the nail right on the head. The Christian movement in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s was a lot stronger than what it is now. Now we don't need, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you're right.
Let's look at the stats. Let's look at the stats. 35 and under, only 8% go to church.
Wow.
And for 25 and under, it's only 6% go to church. So where are we getting our moral compass? Where are we finding our purpose, our value, our promise and potential?
Well, there isn't one, because truth is relative today.
Right.
So there is only really one absolute truth, and if we realize there is an absolute truth, then everything, we start to judge everything appropriately. But when truth is relative, that means nothing can be true. And that's what society is pushing right now. So that's part of the problem we have. And he was 100% right, is the lack of community. And that's when the need for community went away, was in the 80s, the 90s, as that moral compass began to degrade in this country.
From drinking for a few days. All right, so
Amen.
just stop.
Yeah, as truth has become relative, the standard for living becomes relative, and our purpose becomes relative.
Yep.
And goodness, we have a school in the area, and the person identifies as a cat. So there has to be a cat, a place for that person to a litter box in the bathroom. That's how silly our culture has become, because we are drawing our truths and our self-worth from everything other than God's word.
Exactly right. Because by nature, we have to fill that void.
Yeah.
And you're going to, as human beings, we're going to fill the void one way or another. And if you don't have, and that's part of the problem with truth being relative in society, is I honestly believe that's a direct correlation to where we're at in society today too. That's why there's so much stress and everything else, because nobody knows anything. And now you become more self-absorbed, where it's all about me, versus when you do have an absolute truth path, you realize it's bigger than yourselves, and you're part of a community. When you're part of a community, you have a responsibility to be a good steward of that community, and you want to help foster that community. But because community has been essentially destroyed because of the relative truth movement, that's where we have so many problems. And that's why, especially what we're starting to see now, school-age kids are starting to commit suicide at a higher rate than they ever have in probably the last 30 years. And that's a direct relation, because they don't know who they are. They don't have a clue of how to find out who they are.
And they're told they don't know who they are. They're told they don't even know what sex they are. So, I mean, we're dealing in a certainly confused society. And in my opinion, Satan's been a deceiver from day one. Started in the garden. He continues to deceive people today. And a number of people who commit suicide, what do? They believe the lie. They believe their life is worthless. They believe they don't have any purpose. They believe, why do I stay in existence? And I think everybody here on this panel today is here, whether you're working with the homeless or you're going to 3 events today. What are you doing? You're Bobby, you're telling people they do have value and purpose, and they have contributed to society. And no matter how old you are, you've got to your last breath, you can live for God. And therefore, if you live for God, you're contributing to the world in which we live. And I think that's the bottom line. If what we do under the Lord, then it has purpose, no matter what it is, whether we sharpen a pencil, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Whether we sit behind the lines in military battle or we're on the front lines, we have a purpose. And when that's taken from us, as a man, what do we have? Our hope is in, I'm out of here.
Yep.
That's our hope. So we have to infuse hope in the lives of people, and that comes, Eric, as you said, that only comes through our Creator. You know, we were fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. When we understand that, we're on our way to living a productive and a contributory life.
I think a lot of this goes to service. I mean, if you look at the what's going on right now in the branches, all four major branches are not going to make their recruiting standard for this year. And you know, I mean, the Army always struggles. Sometimes the Navy would struggle, but you'd always have like one or two that met their recruiting mission. You have all four are not going to meet their mission. Yeah. And I think that goes to what you were talking about there about, you know, the high schoolers that are coming out, you know, this generation when it comes to service to where you're lacking, you know, that draw to the branches of service and to the military.
Also, we have to look at it too.
When I was a kid, and that was quite a few years ago, you know, there was a certain pride, and I don't know that I like to use that word because the I kind of stands center in it, but I'm going to use it in this case. There was a certain pride in being a part of the military and serving, coming back as a person who had put in their 2 years or their 4 years. And then our society respected that person. And there's not a person in a military uniform or a blue uniform that I don't say to them, you know, I appreciate what you do.
Yeah. You're 100% right. You're correct. We've lost that pride in service. For sure.
Feel like they have value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've lost that pride in service as society. And that's also directly relating to the branches not meeting their numbers. Because when you look at society right now, you know, police service, military service is looked on as something that is demonized in many ways because you have to hate this country that we're all fortunate enough to live in today. And if it wasn't for this country, a lot of the world wouldn't be here where we're at. Now, does the country have its faults? Absolutely. Everybody does, you know, but what the difference is, what I'm looking at right here across the panel, we have people made up of every different part of society, which is awesome. This is a perfect example of what society can be when you realize things are bigger than yourselves and you can come together for a common good to help propel this country to be better. I think that's where we got to get to as society. And that's why I love our veteran, our military space, especially in the Marine Corps, is we didn't have white, black, brown, or whatever. Everybody was green. You know, that's just the way that we approached in the Marine Corps. You know, racism, did it exist? Of course it did. But if hopefully you had a good enough command that snuffed it out early and didn't allow it, right? But by and large, the military is a good example of what, when you don't look at the surface of somebody and you look at treating people with the dignity and respect that they deserve for being a person, that's when society goes better. That's also part of what we're missing in society, which is a direct relation to how we, or what's happened as a side effect after losing community.
So I guess that draws back to the suicide. I've always said
correct, and that's
if you have a full planning guide, if you have a full calendar, it's really hard to contemplate taking your own life. You know,
exactly.
There are people who still do it. Don't get me wrong. I know that there are the people, but if you got something you got planned on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, you're not thinking about, you know, taking your own life on Saturday because we have that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And,
exactly.
You know, it's something I've always, you know, whenever I see somebody struggling, that's the biggest thing I try to give them is, what are they doing tomorrow? What are they doing next week? Are we looking forward to, you know, these events? I will tell you, you know, the biggest day, we just had the 1 year anniversary, but we had, you know, guys who struggled that week. They felt their service wasn't worth anything. They wasted a year in their families. That the people they lost over there didn't really mean anything because of the way we pulled out. And I still think we've recovered. I truly think that's what's wrong with, you know, why the recruiting mission might be struggling. Because I still don't think we're recovered for the way we pulled out of Afghanistan. I think
no, I don't think so.
Top of us.
No, it never ended.
No,
there was no ending for the when I came back, it was like, hey, thanks a lot, see you later.
Yep.
You know, there was no ending for it, and I agree with you guys. I agree 100%. And I think staying busy, be you a veteran or you or a non-veteran. Idle hands are the devil's workshop, right, Pastor Bruce?
Yep.
Keep busy, keep things on your mind, stay with it. If there's something bothering you, reach out to somebody. Reach out
Exactly.
to. No, I know Pastor Bruce don't like my term higher power, and I agree. I don't, but I like to get them in, and then say, okay, your higher power should be the big guy.
Well,
but
that depends
let's
on
get
who
them
the
in.
big guy is.
You're right. You're correct. And the suicide, when we go out in town, and most of the time we go to like an assistant living facility or something like that, and we talk to the vets, and the assistant living is getting younger. It used to be the 80 and 90-year-olds. It's going down to the 60-year-olds now, and some 50-year-olds who just they were living on the street and they need help, and they're going into assistant living now because they have nothing and they don't know what, so they feel worthless. And we got to give them a thing to do. We got to get them involved in things. We got to get, especially our vets. You go down in the streets of Philadelphia, you see them all the time holding up signs. I'm a disabled vet. I'm this, I'm that. And stop and talk to them. See what's going on. See what you can do. There are a lot of mental health issues, and most of that stems from wartime service. We know that. You think about it. It'll drive you nuts. So
Hey, can I?
think you hit the nail on the head. Staying busy Monday through Friday, you ain't got time to think negative on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to say there are, and obviously this. There are exceptions to that. I've done suicides of people who were the echelon of personality and effervescent, and everybody thought they had their life together, and nobody ever dreamed that the next day they were going to check out. Yep. So we don't always know what's inside of a person's mind and heart, and how they look at life. Something obviously said to them that my hope is in not being here tomorrow. So we don't know, but I would agree. Anything, yeah. If you've got too much time to think and you're not focusing on contributing to somebody else, you're going to lose your value in life. Right?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
As Martino says, you don't know how to give, you don't know how to live.
Amen.
It's in giving that we live.
For all those helping veterans now, I'm going to do a little commercial, but it's legitimate. Has anybody heard of the Mighty Oaks Foundation? Okay, I'm going to hold this up. The Mighty Oaks Foundation, it's free to veterans suffering from mental anguish. I'm going to use the term mental anguish, but it's free for veterans. It is a new organization that started. It's Christian based. It's Hope in Christ for peer-to-peer recovery program. What it is, it's a 1-week camp. Veterans suffering from PTSD, mental issues, stuff like that. It's free to them. They bring them in, and you're around the vets who have going through the same thing. And it's a 1-week camp/counseling session. It just opened in California. They're trying to get one here in the Pocono areas and also down south. There's going to be 3 in the country. It's sponsored by groups. It's Christian based, and it helps the vets. You will apply to it naturally, but it will help. It's vet on vet counseling. So I wanted to share that real quick before I forgot, because we are all helping the vets. We're talking about suicide, which is mental issues, and this here is helping now. So I just wanted to share that with you.
And since you brought that up too, so like that was the biggest reason I wrote Warrior Up too, is to be able to provide that to veterans that are dealing with PTS for free. And I've been blessed to be able to give out several, I would say probably close to about 100 books now so far since I've written it for free. Amen. And that was the goal of it. So if you know any veterans, feel free to have them reach out, because that's something that I'm not shying away from. Even if I go broke doing it, I don't really care, because at the end of the day, it's all about them finding a new purpose, because we all have seasons in our lives where our purpose will end, and then we have a new purpose, or we have another purpose. Sometimes we think we only have one, but we actually have multiple purposes within our lifetime, and those seasons will come and go. And that's what the book is all about, is finding out what that is and how to proceed to get there.
No,
and of course, it is spiritually based.
Just because one chapter ends doesn't mean the next chapter isn't as equally important.
Exactly.
As the past one. I mean, I think it's imperative that we have chapters in our life. That's how God uses it. If you don't mind, Rob, I'd just like to say that the purpose of Hope Beyond Suicide was simply because parents in particular were petrified or immobilized the moment their son or daughter or whoever committed suicide. And they just didn't know how to move forward in life. They took all the blame on themselves. What did we do wrong? Felt like their kid's in hell forever. So how in the world are they going to live? That's the unpardonable sin, according to a lot of churches. So this book refutes all of that and lets people know that if we've embraced Christ, it's not how you die, it's who dies with you. And if you've embraced him for forgiveness of sin, it covers all sin, including taking your own life. And that's the heart of the book. Eric, John, and I and Walt, we've kind of dominated this conversation. So if there's anyone who would like to say something before I pull off, I need to pull out. Rob, I've got a live Facebook Live and pulling somebody in from Italy, and I need to finish preparing for it. So if anybody would like to say something before I sign off, that would be wonderful. I'd like to hear from the rest of the team since some of us have kind of been the mouthpiece there.
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Yes.
I just want to bring up the subject that I can't know his name, the one right above me with the headset.
John Miller.
John, you mentioned about homeless veterans that's homeless on the street begging. Now, the question is, and this is my opinion, how do you know if they are veteran or not? Because nowadays, that's like business for the homeless in the street saying, I'm a veteran. You know, I'll be honest, I used to give out money, then I stopped. Because how do I know they really need help? You know, I used to live in LA for 16 years, and I came back to the East Coast when the 9/11 hit. I went back in the military for the global war on terrorists. There's a mural with, I don't know if you've seen it, those who are in Philly. I don't know if you've seen it across the VA hospital in Philly. There's a mural on the wall. I'm on the mural, okay? And I always say this, and how do you know? And I did this in Maryland as well. I drove by in Silver Spring, and I saw this guy with a sign saying, I'm home, I'm a veteran, I'm homeless, blah, blah, and all that. So what I did, I made a U-turn and went straight at him. And I said, how do I know you're a veteran or not? And he showed me his ID. I say, the VA's helping you? Yeah, they're in the process helping. So he showed me ID and everything. I said, okay. So I gave him $20. You know, it's sometimes, like I say, nowadays begging for money is a business. It's business, you know, and I tell that to my nephew. I mean, think about it. I mean, if you stand in a corner in a busy traffic, and every hour, how many cars go through there? At least 500, probably less. But those 500, 50% or 40% of those people are giving them money. So by the time they end their 8-hour shift,
Yeah, our shift.
more money than me. You know, it's like I don't buy this. Some of them really do need help. I ain't gonna take that away from it. But unfortunately, one bad apple ruins the rest.
And I have to interject, you know, where when it comes to the homeless society, like we deal with it here in Fayetteville, but you know, when you decide to give back to the homeless, you know, rather than just bring them food, give them money, do this, to me, you're just enabling them. Unless you come back and you say, hey, you know, let me take you to the VA. Let me show you, you know, let me give you this application, fill this out, you know, and let me help you help yourself. And that's one of my biggest things. But some of these people, they live that life and they don't want that help. But what we're doing is we're enabling them by giving them, hey, giving you food. We're doing all this, raise awareness. We're raising, you know, food, bringing all this stuff to them. And we're just enabling them to live a life that they want to live and feel sorry for themselves, rather than when you go give them food, you go give them something, you should bring them an application. Say, hey, you know, I'm going to tell you this. I've run across veterans, homeless veterans, and say, hey, I do get I do get help from the VA. I can go see the VA, but I'd rather be here. And I was like, okay, you rather be here? That's fine. Well, I will no longer provide my services for you because I'm providing my services for those who want to help me, help them, help themselves. And we can't enable these people. Just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you're entitled. There's a lot of veterans out there feel like they're entitled. If you're the veteran that say, hey, that veteran discount, are you that veteran that goes to a store or a restaurant and say, hey, can I get a veteran discount? Then you feel like you're entitled. And there's a lot more people that have done more stuff out there than where just a regular veteran has done. But to me, just like I said, if somebody says, hey, thank you for your service, somebody thanks me for my service, my response is, thank you for your support. Because without people like you, I can't do what I do. And if you're a veteran and you say you're welcome, then let me tell you, I've seen it, and I call that dude a shitbag, and I will. That's the way I feel, and that's the overall thing is you gotta want to help people who want to help themselves. But if they don't want to help themselves, don't feel bad about turning your back on them. Turn your back on them because we don't got to where we're at by just sitting back. My friends helped me to get where I'm at because they saw that I was willing to do the work. They're willing to give me enough to say, hey, Rick, you know what? I'm going to take care of you, but I know you're going to do something on the end. And, because you're continuously thriving to do stuff. So we got to help those who want to help themselves at the end of the day.
That's true. See, I'm 5 years, 5 generation of military, like the World War I on my father's side. World War II, my uncle who just recently passed away, 99 years old. Nice. Vietnam veteran that lives in the Bronx, he's 94. My brother, he did 39 years from the Vietnam era all the way to the Obama administration. And myself, And before I became a veteran, I always like the Vietnam. I like wondering what is going on. You young, you do not know what's going on until you become a veteran and you're on their shoes. So I highly have respect for all veterans, no matter where they come from or where they at. But I do highly respect, especially the Vietnam veterans.
Hey, Rob, real quick. Like I said, I got to go. I mean, to intervene. But let's talk about the boxing event. I know Hazel was on here. I saw his message.
Actually, I got a couple. You want me to post? Yeah, I'll post some. I got some videos and photos from the evening. Hold on, let me post them on here. You were there. How was it?
It was a great event. I got to meet Hazel, and like I said, I was in Long Island working and I had to work that morning. I went and visited my mom in Jersey City, and then I drove another 2 hours to the event, and to me, we got to understand the bigger picture and about what the event's about. Most people don't even drive an hour to go see other people, but because it meant something to you, it meant something to me, and it meant something to Hazel, I drove, I got the opportunity to link up with my friends and stuff like that, and they loved it. At the end of the day, I know I got at least like 8 friends who are not veterans who are planning to come to this event, but we make time for the things that we want to make time for. And that's what I did, Rob. And, like you passed the buck to Norm, and Norm did what a Vietnam vet would do and took fucking control. And I was like, oh shit, there's Norm reading the shit, and I was like, okay, so it was good. It was so busy with all the fighters, and they're in their own world. I'm gonna tell you this. They're in their own world. It's their own thing. So that promoter, Norman, I think his name, not Norman, I forgot his name, but I just got to say hello to him. I didn't really get to talk about what we're doing, but he was in his own zone, and, and we are just building off this platform, but there's a lot of work to do if you want this thing to be what it is, and Hazel's trying to so much, but like I said, these guys are more focused on their thing, and we're just an attachment at this point. So it's up to us, up to you to kind of implant yourself in here. And, the more jabs you get, the more you can penetrate. And that's what it is. We didn't, like I said, I didn't get to talk to the man, but, my presence was known. Norm presence was known, and we were there. You know, at the end of the day, they thought I was Hazel's security. So, you know, there's like, oh, you brought security with you, and I was like, okay, here we go. But you know what? We're there, and you know, if you guys can make the effort, you know, to come out and support what he does. You know, Rob, you want to talk about making T-shirts. You know, before you start to make T-shirts, you know, you got to figure out, hey, how many people are going to be there? You got to order a minimum of 30 shirts through this guy who's a veteran-owned company. And so you got to have 30 people that are willing to commit. Or you can find people on here that says, hey, you know, it costs $11 per shirt times 30. You know, what is that? Something. My GED jersey doesn't go that far. But anyways, so you can raise money. I say, hey, I would donate $100 right now towards the T-shirt. And that's my obligation right there. You know, and I'm, you know, the guy's my friend. So, you know, we can get the T-shirts, man. You can sell them later and then pay them. But I would donate $100. And like I said, I'm willing to donate my shirts. And an option was I have Velcro on my shirts, is to create a patch from your organization, which will cost $3, maybe $4, and slap that patch on the shirt, you know, and represent that. And we're talking about minimizing costs, you know, and we talk about the tickets are $60 for a veteran. It's $40, but we're, you know, I've been to a lot of events where we've been invited and we've never had to pay for anything, you know, but I understand it's a business, this and that. And we're trying to implant ourselves and get on this platform, and everybody, they want to make money. But at the same time, they're still using our platform as we're using theirs to showcase themselves. So they should be willing to give back a little bit more than what it is. You know, NASCAR does it best. I went to the Coca-Cola 300. NASCAR by far is the best venue I've ever been to, from football to baseball, that treats family like they are family, veterans family. And that's what I love the most. So you gotta understand, they're giving you their platform, but you are also giving them a platform which is bigger than them, veterans. And then you start to include veteran suicide, which is a big thing. So I would go back to the negotiating table with them and say, hey, you know, this is where we're at. But find out your numbers, find out who's going from this group. Is anybody going to go to Atlantic City on October 15th? Is anybody going to make that trip?
Philly, you should go out there.
Exactly.
I
live 8 hours away. And I'm
an hour and a half away.
We're talking about coming. It's a week before my wedding too, so I'm getting shit about it. So
here's the video from the press conference. Here we go.
Give it up for Norman!
That was quick.
It clicked off.
That was quick.
Yeah. That was
Give it up for
There you go, guys.
Norman, you want to say your last name? Norman D. All right, we give a special dedication to Dana Dane, a Gold Star mother who lost her son, a Navy sailor, to suicide. Dana Dane, your son will not be forgotten. We will honor your son, Ethan Sabatini, with all veterans who have committed suicide on October 15th. We ask everyone to join the Walk to the Ring on October 15th to show their support for Veteran Suicide Prevention Local 22. May God bless the hearts and souls of the broken and lift their spirits high. Thank you, and God bless you. God bless you, Norman. Thank you so much. God bless you. October 15th, will be escorting Hazel Roche into the ring for one of the heavyweight fights. And Rich Reed, take it over here. It's all
Norm read it. Norm read it good.
Oh yes. Did you guys listen to that?
Norman, you want to say your last name? Norman D. All right, we get a special dedication to Dana.
Yeah, that was
a Gold Star mother who lost her son, a Navy sailor, to suicide. Dana Dane, your son will not be forgotten. We will honor your son, Ethan Sabatini, with all veterans who have committed suicide on October 15th. We ask everyone to join the walk to the ring on October 15th to show their support for Veteran Suicide Prevention Local 22. May God bless the hearts and souls of the broken and lift their spirits high. Thank you, and God bless you. God bless you, Norman. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, that was Norman. He's a Vietnam veteran who did. So yeah, Norman's a real good guy.
Give it up for Norman!
Rob.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, it went good, but there's just a lot of work you got to implant because, like, we didn't get their attention. I'll be honest with you. We didn't get their attention, because they were so focused on what they were doing, But it's good. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be a good event. And we just got to put more work into it. And I'll help you on this end. Like I said, you want a banner made, you send me what it needs. I'll have UPS here sponsor it, and don't worry about that. I believe in the Army system, the supply system, the Army supply system. Everything is free.
Oh, good.
That's what I believe. I'll tell you, I'll make sure it happens. But yeah, we got to get with Hazel. Hazel gave us the foot in the door. Now it's us to, cross that door, cross in there, make it happen. So, but we'll talk more. But like I said, before you order 30 shirts, you should make sure we have 30 people going. At a minimum, get sponsors to sponsor what's 30 times 11, gentlemen? 300 and something, right? 333.
Yeah.
So if I'm willing to give 100 and you find other people to do that, pay for the cost of the shirt, now the shirts are free. You got your sponsors and you throw them on the back of the shirt. Boom. If you get 10 sponsors at minimum of $50 a piece and say, hey, we're going to throw your logo on the back of this shirt to help raise awareness of suicide, which will be a shirt worn, during the walk-in of the heavyweight match during celebrity boxing on pay-per-view. Boom. That's already sold right there. You're already, they'd be like, holy shit, $50, that's it. When I first did my t-shirts, they were $300 for 10 spots. And people were like, oh, okay, cool. And the way I did it, I said, hey, $300 to put your logo on a shirt of $300. So you're paying $1 per shirt to advertise yourself. And when you break those numbers down simple like that, then yeah, that's what it is, And now my shirts are going for $1,000 a spot for what we're doing. And that just helped raise money and give back. I said this year we were able to give over $9,000 back because of sponsorship and stuff like that. But make sure you're covered first, because at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of others and you can't continue your mission of what you're trying to do. I learned that, where I've ran myself ragged and realized, holy shit, I need a day off, and, there's no day off in doing what we do. But guess what? You got to take time for yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of others. And that's just plain and simple what it's about. Well, we can talk more offline. I got to get going to this ceremony. I'm all dressed up.
Yeah.
It's good to dress up like this when you don't have to go to court.
Yeah.
Right?
You look clean. Yeah, I like that outfit. Looking good.
Try, man. Try. But you guys have a good one. I appreciate you, Rob. And like I said, let's talk more offline. But hey, together we're a team.
Absolutely.
We make this happen. You know, and everybody you bring on your podcast, you know, get them involved. You know, you guys get involved. You guys have resources. Every person on here has a branch, is a tree, and has a branch that can do something. So let's say right now our goal is to raise $333 to get these T-shirts made. Who can make that happen? You know, I can make it happen, honestly, and that's not boasting, but I can make it happen. You know, but we want to come together as a group, and that's it. You know, not one person shouldn't burden the weight of everything. Let's share it. Let's share it. You know, and that's it. Together we're stronger. All right. You gentlemen have a good one. Thank you so much, Rob. Hit me up. You know, I appreciate the opportunity of going down to Atlantic City, and it was a good time. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Later.
Look. Eric, Philly, Diaz. What's up, guys?
Not much. How you doing? Good podcast. Good conversation.
Hey, Ron, you doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the live video that you put in, rushing to the hospital.
Yeah, I'm at the hospital now.
I like
yeah,
your hair.
Yeah, you can tell.
You remind me of a comedian.
Who's that?
He got the same hairstyle.
Yeah. What was the comedian's name? I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know if it's Carrot Top or something, but
yeah, nice. Yeah, I forgot my hair gel and my hat, so it's kind of thrown a little bit. No gel. But hey, the show must go on. You know, it's like delivering mail, man. You know, rain, shine, snow, it's still got to get delivered. The message still has to get delivered. You know, if I'm dying on my bed, I'm gonna get the message out before I die. You know, to try to help people not commit suicide. So hopefully I'm not dying. Hopefully, they said I might just have a viral stomach flu, but besides that, you know, I'm extremely drained right now. I probably need some sleep. But besides that, hopefully I'll wake up tomorrow fine. You know, I'll put it in God's hands. You know what I mean, guys? But if I wasn't to return, just keep this going, man. Keep the podcast going. Keep the message going. Keep you know, we want to get that number from 22 down to 0. And you know, one person can't do it, but you know, even if one person who is doing it stops, you know, somebody else just pick up that, you know, the torch and keep going with that 22, you know, until we're down to 0. Honestly, today I was going through some mental struggles today, man. I was so sick earlier. I was laying in bed like, wow, you know, this is just one of those days, man, where I felt mentally exhausted earlier, you know, and I was alone too. And finally, you know, I just tried to drink some water, eat some food, hydrate a little bit, but my fever kept getting high. So eventually somebody was like, yo, just go to the ER. So I'm at the ER now. I just got my paperwork back. They said that, you know, everything came out fine, my blood work and stuff.
Good.
But we just got to be thankful, man. You know, yeah, every day is a blessing.
Yeah. And a lot of the problem is caused by stress. A lot of people do not know that.
Yeah.
One gets sick and they say, "Oh, what do I have? What do I?" And it's basically stress. Stress make it worse. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So. I don't know what you do, Ron. If you retire or you do something on the side, but sometimes you have to look out for yourself.
Yeah, right now I'm just doing this volunteer thing for the veterans and stuff. But yeah, so hopefully, just trying to get the message out, man. I mean, to be honest, yeah, pretty much. I barely have any time for myself between emails and scheduling people to come on the podcast and stuff like that. You know, my time's kind of limited to have some like time for myself. Now, what I like to do, you know, maybe meditate or, you know, have a little prayer time. You know, pretty much helps me get through besides doing what I do and stuff. I need to write a book like you, Eric, huh?
Yeah, it would definitely work.
They told me the same thing. Somebody told me the same thing. She is, I don't even know her. Amy Evans or something like that. She's a actress. She does a lot for the veterans organization. It's the three called the Bellotone, they call them. And we sat down once up in Reading, New Jersey. I went up there and we was having a drink, and I told her my story, and she looked at me. She said, "You should write a book." I said, "I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. You know, I do got stories to say, but you know, I'm not a writer."
You could always find a ghostwriter. There's a lot of good ghostwriters out there.
But they're expensive. They're not cheap. Yeah. I already looked into one. You're talking about over $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, so. And you live in New Jersey, Atlantic City, Ron?
I'm from there. Yeah. Well, no, that's my home. Yeah, Jersey's my home, but I travel a little bit. Yeah, I travel around, you know, take a few vacations and stuff like that. And then I was stationed. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, they run down on me. So I'm born and raised in Jersey, but then, when I went in the Army, I got stationed down in Texas at Fort Hood. So I was at Fort Hood, Texas for a long time. I did a lot of years there at Hood. Actually, a lot of my family's down there still at Hood. And then from Hood, I moved out to California. I was living in LA for a while, out there in Los Angeles for a few years. So, and then from Los Angeles, LA was it was nice. So I was like east, south, and then west. So.
Yeah, I was born in Philly and raised in the Bronx in New York. Then in '86, I moved to California. Still there. I was there when they had the 3 earthquakes: the North Ridge, the Bay Bridge, and the Whittier earthquake in '87. And lived there until the 9/11 incident happened. I was going to work at 5 a.m. Pacific time. So I went to the next day I went to the nearest recruiter. I told him, sign me up. He looked at me. The first question he said, "Are you prior service?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Okay. You know, you could pass the physical." Hey, you in, which I did, you know. Now I say 80% now I could pass the physical. Not like 100%. So I went back. I requested to be transferred to the East Coast, which I did. I did my basic. I didn't went back to basic training because I took a 15, 17-year break, and that's why everybody told me. Even the general in a dinner, he said, "You went back to basic training?" I said, "No, they needed bodies." You know. So It is true. If you realize, World War II was the highest recruiting. A lot of young people signed up. And then this one, Global War on Terrorists, is the second highest again. Everybody was signing up, young, old, whatever, you know, to go back in, to support what, what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. So you went to Afghanistan, huh?
Yeah, Afghanistan. My unit was going to keep me home to do security at the armories, and I told them no. So I volunteered. They needed the first 3,000 troops that were sent into Europe for a peacekeeping mission, and then they couldn't find somebody to be able to cook for them. So I said I volunteered to cook for them. So I took the advantage of cooking for them. I received an Army Achievement Award through the Command Sergeant Major there. And then when he seen me at the medical thing out in Fort Dix, physical, he asked me, "Hey, Diaz, are you going?" I said, "No, they're going to keep me doing security." And he looked at me, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Yeah, send me anywhere. It doesn't matter where. I volunteer anywhere." So I'm eating my lunch, and my first sergeant comes up to me and tapped me on my shoulder. She said, "Hey, here's a number. Call them." So I was attached with the 102nd Aviation. So we wound up going to Afghanistan. Well, I was with the Chinook helicopter in Kandahar.
Oh, the Chinook.
Yeah, I love it. I miss it. I miss the plane going up in the air and the back end like it was going to dump a shit.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Hanging and looking over the mountains.
You can go volunteer in Ukraine if you want. You can go back in.
No, in fact, I signed up for the contractors. They were looking for cooks up in Poland. And I never got a call because normally you have to have security clearance. You have to do a lot of process. So I said, okay, so.
Yeah, hey, there's some brave people volunteering over there. I know a couple of veterans. They just got, I think they got picked up while they're out there volunteering.
I'll be honest, I don't know. Everybody got different opinion about that. That's, they're getting attacked and by Russia with the missiles. And I told my friend, well, they don't do the same thing. Shoot missiles to Russia to see if they like it. But they cannot do that. Now you got Russia and China trying to get involved.
Yep.
It's like my brother. He told me it's going to be a World War III, and I kind of believe him. I do believe that. You got China who wants Thailand. Why don't leave those people alone? And then you got Russia who wants Ukraine. Come on. If Ukraine let them take over, what going to happen? Those small little country that used to be USA, Soviet Union, they're going to try to take them too. That's what's going to happen. So.
No, we're going to end up making stuff here in America. Everything will be made in America soon. Mm. And we'll be working for the Chinese and the Russians.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. I got to go. So,
same here. I got a client meeting starting.
Nice meeting you, Ron. I think you on my Facebook too, right? The one with the beard.
Yeah. I think, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I see. I do a lot of events. I do a lot of bike runs. So, like Project Hero, Right to Recovery, Faces America, and Bikeathon from Philly all the way to Atlantic City.
Nice.
So, and then I do a lot of with the Simplified Team America. Yeah, I got a couple of things going on with them on October and November. I'll be in DC next month, in October, actually. But,
October what?
October
not the 15th,
7th.
Right?
I don't know what I'm going to do on the 15th. On October 7th.
Try to be in Atlantic City. Try to be in Atlantic City if you can on the 15th. if you
Okay,
got
I'll
time.
try. All right, just send me the info.
Yeah,
All right,
and then
let
maybe
me go and talk to you.
we'll catch a bike ride with you sometime.
All right, cool. I'll let you go. I gotta go. Nice meeting you. Have a blessed one.
Likewise.
Bye.
I appreciate your time and invite me on this. This was good.
Yeah, let's do it again, man. We'll get you scheduled for another date or something. Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, tell me what's this orbit thing you got going on? Is it called Orbit?
Oh, the space thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Beyond Odyssey is the name of it. It's a 20-year-old vision I've had of like just writing a book about and doing movies and content like that for space travel, all sci-fi, futuristic stuff like that. So I'm actually starting it now, and it's awesome because now I've kind of taken the choose your adventure books that I grew up in with as a kid, and I'm bringing them to the 22nd or 2022 basically. So I'm reinventing them, where it's like books meets the games and then meets games. So it's got this whole like game aspect of it as well as choose your adventure. So it's pretty cool. And it's all kind of after about 20 years of it being in my head is finally starting to come out, mainly because technology has finally caught up with my vision.
Yeah. So did you do an ebook first or you just did a book?
So the first book that I wrote was The Warrior Up. So I did a straight self-published book. So that's in paperback, hardback, as well as ebook as well. So they can get it in different directions. And that's the book there, Warrior Up.
Okay.
Somewhere.
And how does everybody get a copy of that if they want it?
They can get it pretty much anywhere on Amazon or anywhere like that, Barnes & Noble. You can get it there. You can also go right to the website, which is gowarriorup.com. So there's a link right there that they can order directly through me, and they can also go that way if they want to sponsor a book for a veteran. I've got a program with Books for Heroes where if they sponsor, they can actually write a specific message and a name for the veteran, and then I send that along with the book as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll try to get some books out. I'd definitely like to get a copy so I could read,
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, the ebooks are definitely on Amazon and Apple Books as well, and pretty much all of those locations. So they're easily found. But definitely, I can send one out to you as well. Okay,
yeah. Why don't you do that, Eric? Hey, man, I really appreciate you, and we'll talk offline. And man,
I think I just lost you. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
Have a good one, brother.
All right. Bye.